What's up, world, and welcome to our show, Cuzzo Convo. We're your hosts, Renaissance Ronnie
and Mo Lovely. We're here to have an open dialogue about all things Black reality TV, highlighting positivity and giving out real life accountability checks.
So grab your seat and whatever you need, because we're about to dig in.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another episode of Cuzzo Convo. I am Mo Lovely.
I'm Renaissance Ronnie.
And welcome to our old Cuzzos, and those of you that are new, we welcome you. Always remember to love up on that like button, hit subscribe, and share. So we're going to be recapping Love and Marriage DC, and we're going to jump right on in. We're going to waste no time. And so we start off with the show where we have this beautiful a land of property that Joy and Clifton have. Beautiful
nice house.
Very, very nice home. Secluded area, good for them. But yeah, very nice home. And then we go into the next scene where we have
Joy and
Arena actually meet up at this, where she said, "Girl, I thought we was going out to eat. We all dressed up." But she stated that
she's making stuff for your house. They was making Halloween decorations. Like,
yeah,
what are you doing?
So, but yeah, so they met up. And I think that it was a very interesting conversation. She did ask her for some clarity.
It was clear to me still. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that she asked her on. Well, I was asking her clarity about the whole Sherelle and why she is deciding to distance, block, and do all these things. I do agree. I think that at this point, I thank Arena for actually keeping Joy accountable when she was like, "Well, that's not what you originally said. What you originally said was that there was some business issue." She was like, "Oh, well, yeah, the best friend situation and Black didn't break up the group. That's not what broke up the group. What broke up the group was Black." So it does seem to be a little bit all over the place, where like I'm kind of questioning Joy's integrity a little bit, where it's like, okay, well, what is it? What was the point of, even bringing up oh no, he was messing with her. It did seem a little bit almost like, well, so I'm not looking crazy in these streets. I need an excuse for me to say that I don't like Sherelle. So I'm going to just be like, oh, he was messing with my best friend or dating her. And then while he was dating her, he was also involving himself with Sherelle. So I'm just not really sure if we're really getting the full truth with that.
I'm not understanding. I'm starting to think that she was messing with somebody in the group as well. Like, it's just confusing because for her to say she hates him and then the reasoning behind it didn't add up. Like, she was like, for them to say that me and the drummer had got into it and that's the reason why the band broke up, it was a lie. And it was like, even if that was true, like, it just doesn't make sense for her to hate him.
Yeah.
It's just not adding up. So is she saying that there were rumors that her and the drummer were like sleeping together, or is she just saying like they had got into it or something? I don't know.
Right.
It's just not making sense.
Yeah, it's still very all like up in the air. Like I'm still confused. So anyway, so moving on from that, and because I guess this is just going to be a part of her storyline that's going to get dragged out, and then we'll finally.
Yeah, because they're trying to make her and Sherelle talk at this point.
So. Right, and we're going to finally, I guess, get to a point where it's like, okay, yeah. So we'll see. Anyway, so then we have from Arena and Joy sitting down. We then have Sherelle's event where we had good old Ashley, who came late and was trying to park.
Her beeping it up.
I was like, so ghetto. Anyway, but I was like, come on.
Bonk, bonk. She said,
I was
I
like,
just slightly
so
tapped on the horn. I said, girl, no, you did.
I was like, anyway, but yeah, so we have Ashley, her best friend, and also Arena, and then good old Winter Storm comes through.
I was confused by that scene. I'm sorry.
You say you what?
I was confused again. Like, Winter did say to the friend first, and I don't know who you are, or I don't know who she is, or something. That was Winter who said that, right?
Yes, Winter
So
did.
when Winter came by and was like, she's leaving or whatever, and she was saying goodbye, and she was like, okay, bye. I guess she was like kind of individually saying bye. Then Winter was the one who said, and I don't know her, or I don't know who she is, or something like that, right? And then Ashley's friend responded and was like, um, yeah, you don't know me or whatever. They were kind of going back and forth.
Mhm.
But I felt like when Winter went outside with Sherelle, she was kind of like, what is that energy? And that whole dynamic was weird to me because I felt, and I know that people probably think that I don't like Winter, but I do like Winter. I mean, she's all right with me or whatever, but I just felt like Winter gave off some weird energy first because why did you even mention and I don't know you or I don't like why did she even
It
say that?
was it was clearly an edit. That
I
was
was
that,
about to say it came off very weird. I was like, what is
yeah,
happening?
it was definitely an edit. She definitely uh was something that where she was speaking, and then I think the best friend said something, and then they edited it out, and then Winter was like, well, I don't even know her. So because the way she said she didn't know her was like it was like where is this coming from? It wasn't like, and I don't know you. So anyway, like she didn't say it like a certain like I ain't speaking to you because whatever. She was just
Yeah,
like,
I had to
yeah,
rewatch that part like
it
five
was
times
definitely
because I was like, what happened?
it
Like,
was definitely an edit. They
um,
was for sure edit. I am like 110% sure.
she needs
'Cause I
to
was
like clear that up. I hope she went on like Twitter or social media and cleared it up because it definitely came off very weird. And it was like, but it came off like she said first to her, and I don't
like,
even know who you are or whatever. So that's why I was like, why would she go outside to Sherelle and be like, what is that energy? And I was like, girl, why did you just randomly say I don't know who you are to this lady?
yeah,
Okay.
no, it definitely, yeah. And I mean, and of course, Ashley's best friend, whatever she. I was just like, oh my gosh. I was like, this is given. And again, I as much as I like Winter, at this point, you know, I really thought that they were going to give her like I guess maybe all her friends said no thank you, like I'm not coming on that show. So I guess she couldn't really get a friend because I know she said like y'all gonna have to give me a friend because I can't just be the one being ganged up on. But at this point, like as much as I like her, I just need her to just go ahead and just dismiss herself because I don't get what Carlos said that yes Winter is back and bigger than ever or whatever he said because I really just don't. She literally does not have any form of anything, so it's like okay, we just want to get just her throwing little shady shots or here and there, whatever. I mean, yes, trying to get the sit down portion, okay, cool. But at this point, I just don't feel like there is any point for her to be on the show because she isn't married. She isn't. We're not seeing any introduction of love life. We're not seeing anything that I feel like would be. So I just think that at this point, the focus should just be Joy, Clifton, Arena, Jamie, and Quick and Ashley, and call it a day.
So my understanding, or maybe I don't know, maybe I'm making this up, but I thought I saw this somewhere that at some point it's gonna come. They're gonna. I don't think they're gonna all become friends, but like they'll all be cordial with Winter, right? Did you see that or hear that? Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, I just don't know. It just
It just was a very like forced scene. Here's another scene that just didn't need to happen. Like
yeah.
it just seems to be very forced and whatever. And the thing is that, and this is where I'm just going to, as much as I'm like opening up myself to Ashley, my thing is that like she still was not taking accountability that you did come off to it. Like, I really don't believe, and I will agree to this, that Winter would have gave you any energy if you wouldn't have given her, like, you were just like coming back to back with the like snarky comments. It was like, oh,
She
well, whatever.
definitely did,
And
but
so my thing is like, I just don't, I think that especially when you don't know anyone, and then once a person goes like where like you see in their face and they're like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. I think that you have to draw back and go, okay, this isn't my friend. Like, we don't know each other. So she doesn't know me. She doesn't know how I operate. She doesn't know how I communicate. So I think the best thing is that maybe I should have a one-on-one sit down instead of being in this whole huge dinner and calling her out and being like this, and the third. So yeah. So I'm still just not seeing Ashley take accountability. Again,
yeah, I'm not gonna.
this
I
is
was gonna
Ashley.
say, go.
Oh, this is Ashley with her mama, because just like you're saying your mother is not going to apologize for you when you're saying, you, what is it that you, now I want you to apologize specifically. Well, actually, we want you to specifically say, yes, okay, I said things, I did things, I whatever, I could have handled it a little bit differently, whatever. So I apologize on that behalf, Winter. Maybe we did need to start again, and I shouldn't have, whatever. I'm growing as an individual, but that's not what we're getting. It's just like, no, no, it's just real catty and little girls. No, it was no, you told me, you on the social media talking about me. And I was like, oh God, Lord. And I'm just like, Winter, leave, Winter, just leave the show. I'm like, I know that we're going to see you for the rest of the show, for the season. But at this point, after this season, just go off, just say thank you for the coinage, and leave, exit left. Because again, if bringing, if there's no friend that you're bringing on the show, there's no love interest that you're bringing on the show, it's just like, I don't, just like why I want Mel to leave Love and Marriage Huntsville. Because if we're not seeing your businesses, if we're not seeing a love interest, if we're not seeing, it's just like all of this like drama for what? Because it's actually not even really entertaining at this point. We're running with the same storyline for now, what, 2.5, 3 seasons?
Well, I'm sure they'll make that whole councilman thing a story.
Oh Lord. Child.
Because I'm sure we'll have Tisha. We'll have Tisha saying, well, isn't Mel dating that man who got caught stealing from Walmart 30 times? So it'll be, I'm sure it'll be a thing. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I was going to, I feel like probably make an excuse for Ashley, but you're right. Because while I think that Ashley made a valid point in her question to Winter in their initial meeting, I think there's a time and place for everything, and she does need to take accountability for how she did it, number one, and number two, the fact that she didn't even know Winter and Winter didn't know her. So yeah, I'll just stay back from that one.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was that. And then Sherelle. But I will say the interesting thing is that Arena made a comment because, obviously Sherelle was trying to, piece this together or whatever she was trying.
I already know what you're gonna say.
But I find it interesting that Arena was like, you can't make somebody be friends.
And she was doing the same thing to Joy.
I said, well, what you doing with Joy? And Sherelle, I'm like, you can't do that now, boo. So you got to pick a side. What you want? You going to be the peacemaker and say, okay, I think that you guys should sit together. Where I do agree with Arena about the whole Joy situation, where she was like, well, come on, Joy. Like, this is 10 years ago. So you just holding on to whatever or harboring whatever from like this woman who doesn't even know you, like knows nothing about you really, but that you're a singer, that you were once in her husband's group, and she has really nothing to do with it. Like,
right. And I think that initially Sherelle probably was down for even being cordial with Joy, but now that she knows that Joyce feels like she hates her husband and she strongly dislikes him or whatever, I don't think Sherelle is into it. And it's like, why do I want to be around somebody who says they hate my husband? So it's just like, I think the door is the door was open on Sherelle's end at one point because it was like, what do I got to do with the situation? But now I think maybe the door is closed because she's like, I'm not about to be kikiing with somebody who hates my husband.
Right. Which, I mean, that's understandable.
But at the same time, on Joy's end, it's like, why do you hate her husband? Like,
yeah, there's got to be something more that she's either saying, I will never say, or that it's just some made up hate. I don't know. I mean, I like Joy, but I don't know. It's just becoming a little awkward of a storyline. So yeah. So anyway, moving on. We have
the Silvas and the Tylers meet at Funland.
So that was really interesting. What's your thoughts?
So, in defense of the Tylers, very little defense of the Tylers, I will say maybe the setting was just a little awkward. Maybe they could have just like invited them over to their house in more of a like, even though it didn't seem like it was a bunch of people at Funland or whatever. So like the setting didn't seem like it wasn't private, but I don't know, it's just more of like for such a serious conversation, just more of a like comfort level when you're like intimately at somebody's house or whatever. And kind of have a precursor to the fact that the conversation they want to have with you is serious. So I will give the Tylers that. But in this one, I agree with the Silvas. Like, well, first of all, I think we mentioned last week that, like Ashley said this week, Jamie just seems like he comes from an era where they don't take mental health as seriously as the younger people. Younger people are now more dedicated to their mental health, and they recognize these things, and and they actually want to seek therapy. Now, the one thing I will say, that the fact that so I don't know this to be true. I'm just going to assume that Ashley does not do therapy. But the fact that she has mentioned all these issues that she has and is not seeking therapy and seems to be such an advocate for mental health is a little funny to me, that she has not been to therapy yet. And maybe she isn't in therapy and just hasn't never mentioned it, but just her telling her story just even more lets me know that she needs therapy.
Absolutely.
For her to have attempted suicide in her teens, had suicidal ideations in her 20s, and then in her 30s have to be hospitalized for 7 days, which she didn't go into specifics about what that was about.
Right.
So I'm thinking she probably had like a mental breakdown or something. But she needs, and then even her scene with Quick early in the show, I think we skipped over that. It wasn't that prominent, but just her talking about her insomnia.
Yeah,
I think
hours, 45 minutes to an hour sleep a day. I'm like, oh no.
Right. And that probably plays into her personality. Her she ain't got enough sleep. She's tired. She need to go lay down somewhere. Like, girl, you cranky and stressed because you haven't had no sleep.
Right.
So yeah, she needs therapy. But I will say that I appreciate the fact that they, just brought to the Tyler's attention that they should take heed or be more considerate of little Jamie's mental health and the things that he says. But what happens with the Tylers is that in the moment, they seem like they are at least trying to understand what people are saying to them. But then I feel like later on, and Irana's problem is she doesn't hold Jamie accountable.
Right.
So even though Irana may feel a certain way, she always feels, it's always like she has to make sure that Jamie doesn't feel the type of way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hold on now, Jamie's not a bad father. I don't think anyone ever said that Jamie was a bad father.
Right.
they're just calling to attention things that he should be more sensitive to as a father. No one ever said he was a bad father. And then she goes into how he supports little Jamie. And my whole thing with that is I believe when they say, Jamie's always supported little Jamie when he was a child and even now, I think they're talking about financially.
Yes.
That's another issue with that generation. They think that if they provided for you financially, you got a roof over your head, you have food on your table, then
that's
it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think the Silvas were attempting to give them good advice. But what shut Jamie off from Quick is Quick saying, I don't think Quick said I would never, but I think he said he couldn't imagine himself saying something like that to his son, like calling him a bum. And for a second there, I didn't think they were going to play the clip back where he said that little Jamie was a bum, because they kept mentioning it, and then everybody kind of was like, well, I don't remember that part. Almost like Quick was making it up.
Right.
And it took some time for them to actually play the clip back when he actually said it, because I was like, well, for a second, I was a little lost, like, well, did he call him a bum, or is Quick making that up?
I want to say, no, I remember, because he was standing up. Someone said, yes, because he's a... Yeah, no. I'm like, he's not making this up.
I was like, everybody forgot that. They was like, no, I don't recall that part. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe it was too noisy in the restaurant or whatever the Ashley's place was, and they just...
Even Arena was like, I know he ain't call my son a bum, because I know he ain't call my son a bum. And it's like, girl, so now that you're at home watching his back and you see that he actually did call your son a bum, what did you do? You didn't do nothing, and you wasn't going to do nothing.
Right.
But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, I definitely agree. I'm grateful that both Ashley and Quick wanted to hold them accountable. It probably could have been done in-house instead of at Funland. But again, we say these things just like how it was inappropriate for him to have brought up Jamie, to brought up to little Jamie about what's going on with you, why you whatever, talking all this stuff on text message. I think that they're not in control of it all. So whenever it's like it's time to shoot, because you got your schedule, you got to be here, you got to do this, you got to do this in the third. I just think that they just say, hey, this is going to be the scene. This is where we're going to record. I mean, this is the setup. This has to happen today. So that, that's the unfortunate, but I definitely know that if it was not on camera, then they probably would have been like, yo, let's either y'all can come over our house or we can come over your house. Let's just sit and let's chat about XYZ. So, but like I said, good for them being held accountable. I think that Arena is just, it's a little hard for me because again, the accountability, it goes back to what you said last season with them. The whole thing of there is just this persona of perfectionism that they both wanted to give off. And I think now that Jamie has retired, he's kind of like, I don't care now. I'm going to say what I want. I'm going to do what I want, whatever, Whereas Arena is still slightly trying to be like, yeah, but, I don't really want to be chewed up online because they come for you, then I'm going to have an issue and I'm going to feel a certain type of way. So I think that she's still trying to protect home, because we also know, and we saw it on the reunion, that when Jamie was called out about something and Arena sat there, he went to the back and was like, so why you just sit there? Why they said? And so I'm like, so that's the thing. So we have to also remember at the same time, it's like, even though it's annoying, it's like, well, who is she dealing with? She's dealing with this particular spouse that if she does not come for him, well, did not come, but if she does not protect him in all ways, at all times, right or wrong, then she knows that at this point I'm going to have to hear it, and y'all don't even understand, I'm going to have to hear it not just one time, not just for a few minutes, but I'm going to have to hear it for a long, whatever goes on in their home. So alongside with Ashley needing to get therapy, they definitely need to make sure they get therapy. I'm glad that they're having sex now, but
are they? Ashley said they wasn't.
Okay.
She said that's her friend without the D. Like she ain't get no D from her, and she ain't get no D from Jamie.
Oh Lord. Well, I guess Arena will be the only one that would know. But it sounded like she said she was. So, but yeah, so
And it
she
may be because that was a sore spot for Jamie. Like, stop putting it out there on TV that we gonna be having sex. Like,
yeah, yeah. But so yeah, so I like I said, I definitely agree, and I just I hope that there is some that whole family like little Jamie needs counseling by himself, and then Arena and Jamie need counseling by themselves, and then they need family therapy to say to be able to listen to their son or sons to say, hey, listen, this is how we felt growing up. Yes, this was great that you provided this, and the third. But when it came to emotional connection, spiritual, all those sorts of things, there is no connection. Like it just, y'all did y'all duties as far as, like you said, keeping a roof over our head, giving us an allowance and money when we needed it to get whatever XYZ. And but that's not all of parenthood. And I just would say this too. I think that for anybody that has to like really understand parenthood to its fullest, is that you're a forever parent. Like once that like happens, I don't care how old they turn. Like
right,
like you're a forever parent. And again, it's not forever parent in the sense of, but I gotta always financially support you, or I'm gonna no, like, but you are always going to be who they are going to like call on or look to for whatever it may be. So I think that Jamie also has to understand that too. Now I don't know if both of his parents are still on Earth or whatever, but um maybe he didn't have that as well. Maybe like once um you know when he was 18, his father was like, peace out, deuces, you out there, you on your own, whatever. And never said like I'm a phone call away. He probably said, don't call me.
I
Like
mean,
I mean,
he said his dad was tough on him, but
I mean, the way that like Jamie, I could see him saying like, yeah, my father, once I turned 18, my father was like, get out of my house. You're a grown man now. Don't come back. I mean, and I know some people that are like that. So, for me, even for me, like I would have to say I'm not necessarily kicking my children out at 18, but but there the big but is because I'm an older parent. So, by the time they, if they
you
get
gonna
to
be
that,
living with them.
I want to say, I'm gonna be like, this job put me in a nursing home, get my AARP card up, and but my greatest thing is that there has to be a plan on to like if you are saying, hey, I need to stay. If it's like, okay, I need to stay because I'm saving up for a down payment on this, or I'm saving up for this, or like, there has to be a plan. It's not just going to be, oh, I'm just living here because I'm living here. Like,
Right.
like
Yeah.
you need to be showing me that there is a pursuit of something so that you can, you know, get yourself out. So maybe I've leaned a little bit, maybe not so much 18, but I was definitely hardcore. I was like, deuces. Mm. And that's probably because of me just feeling like when I was 18, I was like, oh no, I was happy to get down. Everybody was like, you're not sad. I'm not sad. Nope. Freedom. So,
I
so.
I was well, I was like, I'm gonna get me a job. I'm getting out of here. It was like my mom was like, you know, what's up? What are you doing school? And I was like, when I made up my mind that I wasn't going to finish college, I was like, so I already made my mind. I was like, so I'm going to get me a job because I'm definitely not staying here. I got me a job and been working ever since. And I was like, peace out.
Yeah.
I think I went back on one time, and that was while I was purchasing my house.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, no thanks.
Yep. Yeah. So, but yeah. Anyway, y'all let us know.
Wait, one question before we end it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what do you think about Jamie being the side piece? Jamie was Irana's side piece.
Oh, you talking about for next week's episode?
No.
Or did she said it, or did she did say it this week? Sorry.
Yeah, she said that she was living with Brittany's dad
and then Jamie was
while dating Jamie.
Yeah, that was funny. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know how I really feel about it. Because, I mean, it happens all the time. Men be living with women and men be dealing with, they be like, I just be staying with my baby mother. And you're like, okay, so what does that mean? No, we ain't no relationship. It's just that's where I stay. This is where my daughter, my child is, and it's just easy for us. But I'm doing me and they doing them. It's not. It ain't. It's normally it's the other way around. It's not normally the woman that's like, hey, this is what it is, and this is what I'm. So, but child, I look just like you said when you were saying that there's been some things about Miss Arena, Miss Tyler. So I wouldn't be surprised.
She saw a new and better opportunity.
He pulled her over and he was like, let me get your number.
I want to make you my personal Barbie doll.
And then and then he said, I'm gonna contact you. If you don't answer, I'm gonna have to give you that ticket. That's what happened to my neighbor. That's exactly what happened to my neighbor. Police officer came. Cause like how people run their cars in the morning to try to warm it up. Everybody had their cars like warming up. He came on the block and he was like starting to give tickets, and everybody came out. They was like, "What's going on?" He said, "Y'all need to turn off your vehicles. This is illegal. You're not supposed to have a running vehicle and not anybody watching the vehicle or attending to the vehicle being in the vehicle." And so, of course, my mom was like, "When that law happened?" And she was going on. And then the neighbor, who he got, she's like, you don't have nothing better to do this. Like, she's Jamaican. She was like, you ain't got nothing better to do. And like, whatever. And so next thing you know, she pops up pregnant like 2 months later, child. And so my mom was like, oh, what? I'll just say her name was Felicia. She's like, Felicia. She's like, oh, when did this happen? She was like, y'all ain't even gonna believe it. She was like, it was with the police officer. He talked his stuff and was telling me this and whatever. So instead of him giving me a ticket, he was like, let me get your number. So that's probably how Jamie got Irana.
And they could be persistent. Them police officers. I had a police officer stalker at one time, and they'll be on you. You be like, either you are interested too, and you're like, okay, well, I kind of like this, or you're like, please, sir, like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Yep. So like I said, they definitely know how to use their power for sure. But yeah, no, yeah. So anyway, y'all let us know in the comment section what you think about this past week's episode. And and so I will have to say, we can't say that we'll necessarily see you next week because we are both going on a little hiatus to take care of some personal matters. But if my personal matter does not come into play, then I will probably do something on the channel by myself, and then then we'll probably see you guys in about 3 weeks.
I'm sure we can roll it all up into one anyway, because
but thank you guys for rocking with us thus far. I feel like Will March be a year for us? We'll have to, think like
I have
March.
to check it because I always date our little the links you sent me. So I have to check and see when was the first links. Oh, but
Yeah.
we were in person. Oh,
Right.
it might be a year. I'll check. We'll look into it. I'll let
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So we'll have to, what you call them. So when we come back, we'll have to probably be switching up everything. And yeah, so, but yes, you guys, we are thankful for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all the subscribers. And we will catch you guys later. Peace.
Bye.